on that. That's kind of good. All right, here we go. So I've been nymphing all morning. It's mid-morning, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I'm seeing fish move to the nymph. When I'm using a little bit bigger nymph, sometimes I've thrown some kind of crossover, smaller streamers up against the banks and against structure, and fish are moving off of it. Now that's not uncommon. That's what I've been seeing most days throughout October. We just got into November. Things are different. The next major event that's going to happen is they're going to start spawning. These are brown trout, wild brown trout, and they're going to spawn here real soon. Sometimes they would have started spawning by now, but we've had lower water, warmer conditions. For whatever reason, I've only seen a couple of reds so far. But they're responding to movement. They have all the way through October, and I've been doing this on a lot of days. Coming up through some of my favorite water, I'm going to pick up the pace. I'm just going to look for the trout that want to eat on movement. I've been dead drifting things. I don't want to dead drift anymore. I want to cover water, move the fly, and see if I can kind of dial them in on some kind of presentation, whether it be fast or slow, or head position this way, head position that way, swinging, slow slides, speed leads. I'm gonna kind of try it all. Really see if I can get them going, cover some water. I might cover a mile and a half in the next few hours. Really want to move. Yeah. We go fishing, huh? Oh, we're ready to go fishing. So I'm going to start off with a half pint and got a bunch of 3X, about 4 feet of 3X. Standard mono rig. It's green, so hopefully you can see it on film. I'm excited about this. So I already nymphed that little island down there. And like I said, I got some movement. I would normally skip all this flat stuff. And even some of that I might not fish if I wanted to just nymph. But this might be real nice for streamers. Again, year after year, you see the same things. I'm gonna hit this log. Trout get into the same rhythms, the same patterns of activity, the same habits. And this is when they start eating bigger food forms. They've been kind of leading up to the spawn. Maybe it's just leading up to winter where they know they got to eat bigger food forms, pack on some pounds. It's just instinct. It's what they do. And then we want to respond to it. So this is the time of the year, hey now, where that's a hit. I'll fish a lot of streamers. Right now I can prospect with a streamer and I have pretty high hopes, right? I have some faith that they'll eat it. Get down. There we go. He ate on the downside. That's cool, it's a fast start. He actually ate when the streamer head was faced upstream. It's one of the first things I'm looking at is what's the angle of the head, because that matters. Trout care about what angle the head is looking at when he ate. And he ate downstream of me. Not exactly what I expected. Right on the bank. Little head flip. Hey now. Yeah, right after that head flip and stall. Nice. Back at it, head flip. Pops. Hey now, another look right there. I love this streamer because I can see it. I can see the streamer, and then I end up seeing fish eating it more, right? See fish response, even if, I end up seeing the fish's response, even if they don't eat it. I see them drive by, and that gives me confidence. It gives me knowledge about, kind of what to adjust in the presentation. Back to that bank, slide that in. A slow slide coming off, pop. So I want a little bit more weight, and I could add a split shot. I'm sure I'm going to do that here and there. I could totally change the point fly, but in this case I'm adding a river rat that has a 4mm bead, 3.5mm bead. So, right, that's just going to add weight. You very well might eat it too. Then I can get my fly down in some of this deeper stuff and still have a great reference of where my point fly is. I don't think this water's low enough, clear enough, to be so the fish should be spooked by two flies. You should be intrigued, if I'm lucky, by two flies. They're a little closer together than I would normally run, I should say that. I'd normally run them about 30 inches apart. They're about 20 inches apart. So whatever, I'm gonna fish some of this. Now here, this is not thick. Hey, this is not deeper water. But still keep that extra weight on there, we're good. Hey, that's a look right there. These small fish on this skinny stuff. I like to keep it moving. I don't dead drift streamers very much. And I don't jig a whole lot either, but I will. I'm not set up for jigging right now. That's something to think about. The flies you fish really call to you to fish certain ways. Hey now. Ooh. He's circling around that and hit it from the front side. I could actually see that. He was 10 feet away. He ate it too. I was a little slow on the set. I like to feel them before I set. Hey now, that's a fish. There we go. He also came off. I'm okay with that. Keeps me going. That's two fish in what, like 3 casts, 4 casts? Okay. Head face down and across that time, right? Head flip, flip back, pop. Hey now. So that's good. I mean, that's really exactly what I was hoping for. Come up through there, I don't know, caught a few, missed a few, a bunch of different ways that they're looking at it too. Head upstream, head downstream, kind of fast. Nothing super fast. You're not responding to, kind of aggressive jerk strips yet. The other thing is I haven't had to be on, full structure yet. So we'll see. That's a streamer bite. I mean, that's decent. You can come in here a lot of times and, try to force feed them streamers and nothing happens. That's good. That's exactly what I was hoping to happen. So I don't love the feel of that river rat in there. It's just, I want things to swim more. I get picky. So I'm taking the river rat off and I'm just gonna throw a couple split shot, a couple number ones. Gonna add up to about 60 centigrams. I'm putting it up here above the half pint. So I'm about 10 inches, 8 inches, whatever, above the half pint. Got a couple knots there. Anyway, this is gonna cut through the water better. I just will be able to do different animations that make me more comfortable. When I really want to swim through the water and get kind of twitchy and fast. You don't always want something like that. Well, that river rat that I had was a little bushy. And with 2 flies, it just wasn't cutting through the water like I wanted to. Anyway, we had a lot of good water here. That's nice. It's another one. It's fun. Slow. We'll jig it here. Head flip, hop, double flip, stall. Hey now. I like that. That's the second, maybe third time I've had a response from a fish doing exactly that. That double flip, and that second flip, I stall it, I pause it. Yeah, baby, I like that. Hey, Riff. Get out of it. Sit. Good boy. So I really love what's going on. It's a good streamer bite. Who wouldn't love it, right? That's a response from a few more fish. And the cool thing is we're starting to see patterns, starting to see the behavior, the habits from the trout. Nothing real, they won't respond yet to anything that's real fast. And what's really done it for me best is getting it in there, just kind of doing what I call a tight line dance, and then head flipping, and then doing that double flip. The head's coming this way. And then I move the rod over this way dramatically, because remember, I'm on a tight line, so the head is gonna look at my rod tip if I keep all the line out of the water that doesn't have to be in the water. Anyway, head's coming this way. I move my rod tip over so the head is then faced this way. I do a little pop, not too aggressive, and then I flip the rod tip back that way. And there you have the double flip, and as soon as the head flips that way, it looks maybe like it's trying to get out of there again, like it's trying to escape. And then I just let it drift and it kind of falls a little bit, and bam. That's, I think, 3 fish that ate on that double flip and pause. I like to have names for things. My buddies make fun of me sometimes because I got names for all the streamer presentations that I like to do. I just want to know what I'm doing when the fish eats so I can reproduce it. And I think that's one of the coolest things in all of fishing. Every fishing is like that. You're going to find that large groups of trout, a whole bunch of trout, want to eat the same way, in the same kind of water, the same ways. So on a double head flip, I'm certainly going to keep doing that, but I'm going to obviously try other things too. I'm going to keep moving it fast. I'm going to keep swinging, and I'm going to keep knowing what I'm doing when the fish eat. Dance it, let it be. Little lane change, soft lane change. There you go. Speed lead. Here's where I kind of like to do one lane things. Right here. I got it in there and I'm speed leading down through. That's not a dead drift, but I am getting in the strike zone right there, and I'm going to lead through. So here I am. Jerk strip, cross current. Hey, that's a good fish. Cross current jerk strip. And how long are those strips? About 8 or 10 inches maybe. They weren't big 2-foot strips. That's all. The fish was right at my feet. Might be the same fish that responded to the jerk strip. That's the first fish today that kind of ate on that. Hey, that kind of look. I'm still using that half pint, and I do think that adding that weight really helped me out. Getting down in some of the heavier water that's up there. I'm glad I took the white one off. I might come back to it later. I just always am thinking about, the changes I might make next. But right now I'm not making much of any change. Just cover water, keep the same fly on, and vary the approach a little bit. But start to really understand what's going on. But man, that's good news. Multiple fish now eating multiple different ways. It's just a streamer bite. Cross current, decently aggressive strips here. Kind of my favorite thing to do is move it a lot. I think everybody likes that, but here I'm coming down one lane. Hey, that's the bottom. Boom, boom. I'm using the rod tip a lot. That's what the jerk strip is. The jerk strip teaches you to use the rod for the motion. The strip is not moving the fly. It's a big deal. Being able to move the fly with the rod allows you to do just way different things. You'd never want to be without it. I never come out here and fish streamers and only strip. You know, I'm always using the rod at least somewhat. Doesn't mean it's got to be real jerky, but even here to do that head flip, that's a rod tip animation. Soft, soft against the bank in the soft water, head flip, pop, and kill it. Nothing happened. Attaboy. So I took the time to take that weight off. It just suits this water better and suits what I want to do more. When it comes to streamers, weight is more about what you want to do with the fly. You can make lightweight come right through, but you got to do it fast, right? So here, I can kind of stall it, hang it, and some of the slow stuff without heavy weight coming through. Ooh, I thought they were going to eat that. Hey now. So that was a really cool, I'll say, first shift. A lot of response, obviously, and what's most encouraging is the fish are eating many different ways. Now, I didn't think about changing the pattern once. The only adjustment that I really made was I put split shot here, on and off. I even tried that other fly just for weight. And that's my point. Streamer fishing is so often about weight. What you can do with the presentation, I mean, is often about weight. You can't, for example, take a really heavy jig head and just kind of glide it through or do what I call a slow slide. The jigs want to fall. Heavy heads, heavy weight, doesn't just be heavy head. Whatever weight is on there, if it's too heavy, it wants to fall. And I say too heavy like you can't do anything with it. Sure you can. Heavy weights, whether it's in the split shot or the head or some other part of the fly, heavy weights make you or allow you to move things faster but keep them down. Move the fly faster but keep it down. If I want to do slow, glidey kind of presentations, then I want a fly that just falls a little bit more like this. That's the only adjustment I made, was to weight. And really that was not just to water type that I was encountering, but also how I wanted to move the fly. So a lot of different things I just learned from there. They didn't need in the deepest, fastest stuff, but almost every other type of water. But I didn't have to be really, really close to structure all the time either. The sun's in and out. I saw really no correlation with, you know, them eating better when the clouds were on. But I'm gonna relocate and see what happens next. So I want to kind of set up on this little mini gravel bar over here, this mini island. But before I walk across there, I'm hitting this. I'm gonna put 3, 4, 5 casts maybe in. There's 3. And each time, trying to do something a little different, a little head flip, a little pop. This time I'm just gonna slide it, easy. And next time I'm gonna go jerk, strip, jerk, jerk, jerk. All right. Windy. Today's a good day to fish streamers. Fishing streamers is always a good thing to do in the wind. Tough to get dead drifts in the wind, sometimes. Hey, that's a hit. That's my first hit down here, that's good. I might get a little bit more weight so I can get down sooner and then glide it. Kind of almost struggling to get that depth. The wind's pushing me a little bit. Leaves. A number of things I'm kind of fighting here. let it die. Pop it, let it die. Pop it, let it die. Head flip. Flip back. Pop it, let it die. I'll come right into this soft stuff. Some back swirl there. Hey, that's another hit. Might just be a little fish in there. Another leaf. All right, so I always want to know if I'm bringing it down one lane, such as this, kind of one lane. I can do things. I can jig it up and down. I can do many animations in one lane, or I can shift lanes, reestablish. Lots of cool things to do. Lots of things that'll work. So I need to slow it down, I think. I'm gonna try that. Just trying to glide it through. I'm dancing right in this pocket, right there. Come on, trout. I like that. Yep. Coming up through. The day is changing. The weather's changing. Get it in there, one lane. See what the wind's doing to me there. Because it's windy, I'm gonna try not to fish too far away because I lose control. You know, the wind starts pushing my leader around. I don't like that. So second shift, no fish in the net, just a couple misses. A little surprised by that, but that's streamer fishing, and I got enough action that I'm not giving up on it, and I'm just relocating, just moving down. That little braided section just didn't work out. That's all right. Moving on. 20 minutes later, just moving on. Keep on going. Out of here. So you gotta wonder, why the first spot and not the second two spots? Why was the action so hot in the first spot, but then just mediocre in the second and third spot? More like regular streamer fishing. And, you know, you gotta have a theory. You almost have to have a theory the way I look at it. Because then it kind of informs what you're gonna do next. I'm gonna jump up to another piece of water that is I don't know, maybe a little more similar to the first spot and see what happens. And keep moving the flies in different ways, knowing what I'm doing, so when they eat, I can duplicate it. So I said too that spawning season is just around the corner. And I saw 2 reds down there, right? They're starting to build the reds, they're not really on them. And we're staying off of them. I never fish over reds, but I'll fish the pre-spawn. Pre-spawn's fantastic for streamers. Well, sometimes, right? What I'm saying is this time of the year is the most predictable streamer bite. Sometimes post-spawn, right after, and that can get really great too. So once they're on the reds and they're really doing their thing, I'll be very careful. I won't fish over spawning fish, but I still fish. They're only going to use like 5% of the river. And once you know your waters, you know what to avoid. You have to have the self-discipline to avoid it though. That's all I'd say. You just got to stay off the reds. There's plenty of river where they're not spawning. So anyway, gonna go get them, see what happens here. Looking good. Nice. That's funny. All right, we went for the upper fly. The last couple here are eating a little lower and slower. I was fishing the bunny bullet. Fish ate that. I got a couple of looks, and I fished that pretty slow because it doesn't want to cut through the water. And then I just switched to the Krelex with a jig head, and I was low. That one surprised me. I wasn't even looking, but really, just trying to do different things. Really dramatically different presentations with those 2 flies. Just keep covering water. That's what it's all about. Hey now, that was a hit. That was a good hit. Hard. Getting down in there. There's the bottom, then up, and then it right. Up. Little lane shift, come on over, up, and let it drop. So now, I've gotten stubborn about it. I'll still take this and, pop it a few times like this. Good. And I'll hit that bank, and I'll get all the way over to that bank and do these kinds of things with it. You can do that with a heavy fly. I can put it in the skinny stuff. Jerk strip it out of there, do some faster stuff. I can't really hover it much because it's so, shallow water, but here we go, right? But now, where this fly really excels is I'm gonna get it down in there, let it fall. There, it's down, and then I'm gonna bring it up. When I say down, it actually touched the bottom, and then I'll jig it up and let it fall. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to jig, too. In there, just one lane drift. It's in, I'm gonna lift and let it fall. And lift and let it fall. They're usually on the bottom of the fall. So I think kind of the cool thing that's happening here is they're eating different flies. I mean, they're eating different ways. Hey, Riff, come on over here. You good boy. They're eating different ways. And these different flies allow me to do different things. Half pint is cutting through the water better. Cutting through the water kind of calls to me to fish it a certain way. And then I fished, yeah, a couple flies. I fished a bunny bullet. That's when I really got targeted, slowed down in some of that pocket water down there. It wasn't super low, and the bunny bullet doesn't have much weight, so I was using split shot, changing the split shot. A bunny bullet with that kind of mushroom style deer hair head does not want to cut through the water, so it kind of calls to me to fish it, well, even in a different way than Delhi's Grinch. I didn't fish Delhi's Grinch much. I'm not finding them so close to the banks today. But that's when I'll fish the Grinch, or something that just hovers and just barely wants to fall. I got some water up there that I might have time to get to. That'd be nice for the Grinch. And then of course anything with the jig head, like I was fishing that Creelex minnow, that jig head, really I can get down, touch the bottom, rarely hang up, and then lift. Let it fall, and then lift. I was jigging kind of in one lane. I mean, I can do any presentation that I want with any of those flies. I was pitching that jig onto the bank and stripping it off real quick. But the jig enables me to do a couple, let's say, specialized things. Every fly kind of has its specialty. And it almost always comes back to weight and, well, how much the fly can fall. So I got about an hour left maybe, and see if I can keep them going. Not a bad streamer bite now, not like it was this morning or late morning, but not bad. That's all I need. A response from a fish every 15 or 20 minutes keeps me going. Here we go. Hey now. Come up in here. It's here, here. It's in. Lift, let it drop. Lift, let it drop. Hey now. Come on, right here. Come on, pup. Hey, there he is. Yeah, sit. Yeah. So I got one tired dog here. He tired. Oh yeah. Pretty streamer action overall. That's kind of how it's been the last few weeks. You can kind of expect to fish streamers and do okay. Definitely had the hot moments and the slow moments. You catch them in patches. I would say the biggest surprise is they weren't closer to structure, and I couldn't really pull much of anything out of the slowest stuff. Always just kind of cataloging that knowledge, that experience, and then it kind of informs, what I should try next time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next time I'm out. But there's a lot of different ways to throw streamers, and a lot of it comes down to personal preference. I know how I like to do it, and what satisfies me. One thing about jigging, for example, is it slows me down. Jigging is usually a slower presentation. I don't cover as much water, and that doesn't make me as happy. Gonna go home. You hungry? Yeah, me too. We should go get something to eat. I think so. You ready, bud? All right, let's go. Did you have a fun time today? Good times. Good boy. Yeah. Ready, pup? All right, let's go.